Rare US Postage Stamps Part 4. The 1920 Treasury Savings Stamp. It represented a real investment for the person who purchased it. Issued by the United States Department of the Treasury. After the First World War. Your purchase. It allowed people to save and invest your money at the same time. It was a way to support America by granting a loan to the government. This stamp. It earned an interest of 4% per year. Not saleable in the state for the first 5 years from its purchase. On the center, the bust of Alexander Hamilton is depicted. First U.S. Treasury Secretary. She held his role for 6 years. From 1789 to 1795. Under the bust, the writing that certified the purchase of this stamp. Down. The nominal value of the piece. $1 US. This piece allowed the U.S. government to raise billions of dollars. Used until 1920. World War I was over. And low sales made the government decide not to reissue any more stamps of this kind. This piece released in the last year of its existence. In 1920. Today it is worth $1750. The 2-cent stamp of 1863. It looks different than many other pieces. Issued by Hawaii. It comes with a nominal value of 2 cents of the US dollar. Printed on the center. Around. Of the writings. Separated by lines. Indicating that it was issued from Hawaii. Before 1859. All domestic postage was free. Following some changes to civil law. They became paid. In this way the postal system was able to cover the expenses and to guarantee the delivery of mail. This 2-cent stamp. It had been issued to pay the standard national rate. Letters weighing up to half an ounce could be sent. Later in 1900, the United States Post Office Department took responsibility for delivering the Hawaiian mail. Postage stamp issued in 1863. Today it is worth $2,500. The 3-cent stamp of 1861 is considered in the philately market among the most debated and fascinating stamps, which over time have made it very desirable. Many philatelic experts, they believe this piece was printed on a test color. Others instead, they attribute its color to cancellation by the Postal Department. On the center, the bust of George Washington is depicted. The writing at the top, US Post, with the nominal value of the piece reported as a number next to it. 3. Down. The value reported in letters. 3 cents of the American dollar. This piece. It also has small imperfections on the perforations, which do not affect your collection. Postage stamp issued in 1861. Today it is worth up to $6,900. The Columbian commemorative stamp of 1893. It is part of the Columbian series, published in the First World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago in 1893. International Fair, which celebrated its 400th anniversary of the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus in 1492. On the center, the moment when Queen Isabella of Castile is depicted. She first learned of Columbus's intention to embark on his journey to America, a project considered unfeasible and very expensive. Queen strongly supported this project, enough to finance and cover part of the costs, with public and private sources. According to popular beliefs, she would have sold her jewels to allow this trip. In fact, below the image, you will be able to see the writing, Isabella pledging her jewels. But this was not the case in reality. Above the depiction, the writing United States of America, with the year 1492. Year of discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. And 1892. Year of commemoration and anniversary celebration. A little further down, the nominal value of the piece. $1 US. Postage stamp issued on January 1, 1893. It had a circulation of 55,000 pieces, with a 12 serration. Today a sheet containing 4 of these specimens. It's worth $13,500. The 1962 U.S. tax stamp. It was issued in commemoration of the post-Civil War era. In 1861, the country was on the verge of bankruptcy. It was created by the government. A plan to generate revenue for state coffers. Money collected from taxes imposed on household items. Like tobacco, alcohol, medicines, perfumes and much more. They were bought and sold through the payment of these stamps, which verified proof of payment. On the center of this piece, the official building is depicted, which was responsible for the collection of tax revenues. Above, the written documentary established 1862. Down, the 10-cent face value of the US dollar. Some of these stamps, they have imperforations and stamps on them. This particularity makes one of these pieces worth $12,500. The 1862 prisoner of war envelope. It is part of the US philatelic collection. This one depicted represents a letter sent by a prisoner of the American Civil War. Fought from 1861 to 1865. One of these letters. It depicts a 3-cent US dollar stamp stamped, depicting the face of George Washington. It was common practice for prisoners of the time to have this privilege, to send these letters to your family. If you have one of these stamped letters, today it is worth thousands of dollars. Perry's 1873 stamp. Depicted in the center. American naval commander Oliver Hazard Perry. Direct descendant of the famous William Wallace, leader of the Scottish Wars of Independence. Oliver took part in several naval battles, including one of the most famous, the Battle of Lake Erie, where his fleet managed to defeat for the first time in 1813 an entire naval squadron of the 3rd Royal Navy. Above the bust, the writing is shown. US Post. Down, the nominal value of the piece, 90 cents of the American dollar. Postage stamp issued on June 25, 1875. It had a circulation of 197,000 pieces, with a 12 serration. Today it is worth $16,600.